It's Clark and Perry on the case. Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry
Do what it takes.
Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry investigate.
The activities and interests of local artists in the Windy City's finest throughout both Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Alberta. Available on TELUS, Optic TV, On Demand, VidFlex, YouTube, and more for limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Da-na-na-na.
Lovely. Wow, look at that canvas. Such a stark difference from the other side of your face. It's wonderful. Okay, so
Snack break.
Snack break. Okay, so I'm going to set down a color that is quite light as I drop more things on myself. I really got myself good with that paintbrush. I'm going to set down a color that's quite light, like maybe that yellow there, for your eyebrow, and then I'm going to paint over the top of it with this gold shimmery stuff.
Oh.
Wow, so nice. So
that stuff looks like more of a paint as well.
It is more of a paint. So this is kind of like the cream water mix I was talking about. And this is going to dry, but it's also going to feel quite like kind of taut or firm on your eyebrow hairs, so you're going to feel that something is there.
Oh, I already feel lots of stuff is on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the nice water coat is gone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No. That's okay.
All right. So, and actually, I might actually go in with ruffles, because that's like a gold color. And so I've got like a little angled brush here. It's easy for doing eyebrows. Very fun. So nice. And I'm just going to start layering that on your eyebrow. This is not showing up super well, but that's okay. I just need a marker of where I'm actually going to paint on you.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Better be. You just got nice little shimmery eyebrows. And you can elevate your makeup in several different ways. I do a lot of wigs and contacts. We're not going to put you in contacts today because that would take a long time because you don't usually wear contacts and it is hard to learn. But if I wanted to really elevate this makeup look, I would do like a sclera contact lens, which is basically it covers up your pupil or it makes your pupil larger. So either you white out your eye completely or you make it completely black with a sclera lens or any other color. Sclera lenses are very fun. They are also huge compared to regular contact lenses.
Like full eye, basically. Eh?
Yeah, pretty much. And they, for people who are not used to them or have never worn them, they're quite uncomfortable because they are so big. Like, you know, a regular contact lens is like that size maybe. Scleras are like more like that size. So they really sit in behind your eyelids.
Ooh.
They're very large. Very large. All right, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of this. This is a very bright gold. I'm just going to move this, take my makeup brush out. Put that over there. And we're going to put some of this on what I've been using as essentially a canvas. Usually I would have like maybe a little like even a Tupperware lid. Boss's dose.
That's not the right brush. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I mean, I can use that brush if you would like me to.
You don't have to.
I would usually use like either a Tupperware lid container or some sort of plate or any flat surface to do something like this or to mix with, or even the lid of a palette like this, because that makes things a little easier.
Any advantage that you find when, like, have you experimented with a wet palette before?
Like using water to...
Yeah. So to kind of just try to keep the paints like wet.
I mean, spray bottles are the be-all end-all for me.
That's
it's
fair.
really tough because I don't...
And I guess that would probably depend on the different type of medium, because I think wet palettes that I've done research on are more based off of like scenic paintings and all that stuff as well, too, or like model paintings. But with the face, it's different.
With the face, it's different. The biggest thing is that I want to let these palettes dry out at times, because if I'm going to have to go back over a thicker spot, I need it to be thicker versus like keeping it completely sodden wet the entire time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now what I might have to do with this is mix it with another color because it is really sinking into your nice lusciously thick eyebrows.
Well, thank you.
So we'll do several layers of this. It's kind of just like a nice little gold look. I do have a gold in the palette there that I could use, but because again we've used a water base, I don't want to put so much water base makeup on. But I will for something I'm going to do later, which is I'm going to add like cracks to your face, like you're a porcelain doll.
Ooh.
Wow. So neat. So nice.
I actually have like questions for Brent here, just
Okay.
while you do his eyebrows there.
Sure.
I mean, I've definitely seen and heard videos and tales of actors kind of sitting in the makeup chair for like hours on end for some of these things, and I'm just wondering, like, how are you doing, Brent? Like physically, like, is it demanding or is it just pretty chill? Are you like falling asleep or like?
Yeah, no, it's honestly pretty chill. It's very like being under the light, having a straight back, all that stuff too. Like just I'm sitting very actively. So that in itself is kind of taxing. Like I'm not necessarily like slumped over and sleepy, relaxed type vibes. I'm more of still trying to be as accommodating to our artist here as well too. So I mean, yeah, no, but I feel pretty good. I will admit that the water, once the water-based palettes, once it kind of dried, it kind of sunk into the skin a little bit. That I can definitely tell my left eye is probably a little bit more sleepy than my right, for example. So yeah, but no, it feels good. I feel pretty nice. I could definitely see like people doing it for 6 hours. You're not doing anything else that day.
My arms hurt after it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, like, and even kind of your elbow snapped, even when you're dabbing at like 1,000,000 miles an hour and everything like that as well too. Because I've done my own stage makeup a few times, and so yeah, I'd say that it'd be it's a marathon.
I'm committing a faux pas by sitting down right now because the reality is you're gonna want to, instead of reaching up, because this is gonna hurt after a few hours, and I will have to stand eventually, but I should be here looking down because working downwards is easier. However, you do also want to stay at this angle sometimes so you can actually see what you're doing at the proper angle that somebody's going to be looking at the makeup at.
So it makes it both when it comes to the working
so you're doing
practice.
A lot of squats. See, you've got a nice little gold eyebrow now. Wow. It's like he's gold plated. 24 karat magic. Sweet. I think I'm going to move on to making you eyes.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
What I'm going to do. Snack break.
Snack break.
What I'm going to do is very softly draw out where I'm going to put the outline of the eye, and then I'll go back in with an eyeliner or with water-based paint very thickly to actually draw the outline. Because I don't want to go in immediately with a really dark liner and then have to take it off because I'm going to ruin that spot on your face.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, we are going to take this little doodad, the smallest brush I have brought with me today, and we're just going to go in with studs again. And I'm going to make sure hopefully try to make sure there's no fallout.
I got a question for you. So, any mistakes that you make, are they mistakes or are they happy accidents?
They're happy accidents usually. You can fix. I always say you can fix your mistakes with water and cream-based paints because you can. You can layer stuff on top of it to make it look right. I try not to restart completely when I do a water-based or cream-based paint or look, because it can be really hard starting from scratch when you already have a base laid down. If I were to really mess up and restart completely, what have we killed? 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that already, right? Like, the concept of time goes out the window when you're doing makeup. So in a professional setting, if you're having to do this for like haunt actors, for example, or for a theater production, and you were doing a full face of this rather than just half a face, I'd be like slapping makeup on you. And at that point, you can't restart, right?
No.
So you have to be very confident in your ability to time manage and also to fix mistakes on the go rather than starting over completely.
So with your project where you were working on it for 6 hours.
I messed up a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How much of that time would you say was spent more correcting?
Not as much as you'd think, mostly because everything was single strokes.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier to fix my mistakes by just making more strokes about like on top of what I was actually supposed to be doing.
Oh, okay.
So less time than I think one would think, but that's just because of the nature of the technique I was using for that. Oh, he's yawning. Goodness. So tired.
Started looking up as well too, just instinctively.
That's okay. Looking up is fine. It makes your face a little bit tauter so that I can actually draw on the cheek here.
There we go.
So the baseline of one eye there. And what I will do with these eyes is I will go in and make them really stark white. So I will either go in with like a glitter or that Believe color, and I'll really make it pop even against this by using highlights and shadows after I outline the rest of your eyes.
Okay, perfect. How many eyes are we going?
I think we're gonna do, if you were to have them on both sides, you'd have 6 eyes. So I think we're gonna do 2 extra sets. So 1 there and like 1 right here or 1 right here. Maybe we'll do 8. Maybe we'll add like a little set of eyes over here.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of eyes. Biblical angels have a lot of eyes in their halos and whatnot. They're wacky little horror monsters when you actually look at the scripture. Formless, crazy things. They're very neat, in my opinion. I like thinking about angels. I think they're cool.
I have another question for you, Brent. Just with the makeup as it's being added, I'm curious, like as an actor, have you ever done any shows with like this much or more makeup? Or like, how do you think it would like affect or impact your acting? And potentially you could speak to this too, Jordyn, afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, makeup for me is always just a mask. Like, the more you kind of feel it's on you, you feel like it's a part of the costume. Just like if you're putting on a shirt or you're putting on your favorite T-shirt and you're going to feel good about your day because you're wearing it or something like that. Feeling that sense of security kind of like helps out, or kind of helps the performance kind of in post as well too. So for me right now, as I'm feeling more and more be placed on, the more confident I am in the look and the more confident that I can be in the performance thereafter as well too. I don't know, Jordyn, you probably got more thoughts on it because you've had more chances to kind of place makeup on yourself before, because you've done drag as well. I have
done drag, yes.
So what's that kind of bring out of you?
Drag is such a performative art.
Mm-hmm.
For a woman, myself, or a female presenting person, to make myself more masculine. And to that point, I have done a more masculine version of myself, and I've done a more, I can't use that word, gender mishappen, I would call it, where there's very feminine elements in my eyes and what I've done with the top half of my face, but then I throw myself on a beard. And like I do a glamorous mohawk underneath my cowboy hat because my whole drag persona is the rhinestone cowboy Vamp Valentine. It's a confidence thing for sure, and it is absolutely putting on that character for me. I love Vamp. He is insane and sexy and super fun to be. And I mean, makeup in my daily life is the same thing. I get to glamorize myself. I get to choose how I look. I get to choose what colors I want to put on my face. My work uniform's all black. Not very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I wear jewelry and I wear fun sunglasses and I do my face in different colors and I wear different lip colors because it brings me a sense of joy in what I am doing. make this. I think I can make this happen.
We're gonna pivot on the go.
And we're gonna pivot on the go. That's all makeup is. Fix it in post. Fix it in post. So what I'm gonna do is I'm very carefully going to go in and like brighten the white that is in these outlines. So that once I go back, what brush do I want to use? That one. Once I go back in to shade, we still have that brighter white that it's an eye and not just part of your skin.
Gotcha.
So I'm going in with an even thinner version of this now. And if you turn your head other way to the camera, see how much brighter that white is, because I've just layered on a very thin layer of this watercolor. And that's the beauty of watercolor paints and water activated paints, is that you can really change the depth of the medium that you're working with simply by adding or taking away water.
They're very moldable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hugely so.
I'm interested to see, like, there are some pretty very defined, like, circles and dots kind of to mark the constellations. What did you use for that?
I used white eyeliner, which I do have with me today. It is one of my favorite tools.
Mm-hmm.
And I used pearls. I actually stuck pearls onto my face for the biggest stars in each constellation to really 3D that look. I'm a big fan of using multimedia in my art and cosplay. So anytime I can like add a feather to my face or put yarn on my face or put gems on my face, I do it because I think that's fun.
Of course.
Yeah. Rhinestones are one of my favorite things in the whole world, actually. I love them. I need you to stop smiling. There we go. Now you can smile again. I just needed to get that corner. Stop that. We're just having fun here, you know?
Perry's having another snack.
It's good. That's why I bring them.
Yeah. What has been your favorite snacks that you bring?
I mean, I love everything. I do love these gummy bears. These are some of my favorite gummy bears ever. The sour ones stay sour rather than going sweet like most like sour candies, and the sweet ones are just really good. They're also organic, and I'm pretty sure they're vegan. Don't quote me on that, but they are very good. What's up?
This one is having his makeup done too. He is split in
He's
half.
Oh no!
Poor little guy.
He had a run-in. That's okay. You put him out of his misery. Wait to her. Don't laugh.
I have a question for you, Jordyn.
Yeah.
So I imagine you can spend quite a lot of time with people doing this.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if you can speak to briefly, like, does it help to be super conversational, or?
It really depends on the person. You can talk. I've asked tattoo artists about this when I've been in with them. I have a couple tattoos myself. It's really dependent on your audience. Sometimes people are really conversational. Sometimes people want to talk. Sometimes people are not. But obviously, Brent and I know each other very well. So we're pretty conversational. I have done makeup before where we've been on set for a really long time that day and we're both tired, and it's like, crank the tunes, shut up, and get this done, please. And usually it's gore makeup, so it takes forever and it's very tedious. So it really just depends on the day and kind of what you're doing. This is fun. This is conversational. I'm just really experimenting with your face. So
Great. Like to be experimented with.
Yeah. Hey, yo. Dad's face. Okay, so you have eye shapes.
I have the shapes.
You have
I
shapes.
believe you.
You have
I believe
shapes.
you.
Yeah.
And everybody else agrees too.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, bam.
Well, bam. I'm going to go in with a blue and make them kind of look like they're glowing because you have blue eyes. So
Okay,
we're going to
nice.
do a little bluey green. I also absolutely smacked my makeup palette into the paint that I already have.
Oh,
Palette.
yes.
Whoops. I'm a mess.
I don't think you are. I find makeup just maybe
Makeup,
naturally
yeah,
is messy.
is messy.
There's a quote that says, "You're not a mess, you're just making a mess."
Yeah, true. That's me. That might be too dark. We're going to do it though. So what I'm going to do is go underneath the lines that I've already created and kind of create a blue little base in here. And then I will darken the lines of the eyes, like I say, with eyeliner, with that gold. Kind of almost looking spidery rather than angelic, but that's okay. We like spiders, mostly. I'm just going to get you to turn to face me head on for a moment. Just so I can get this sort of shadow, I guess, in the eye. Wonderful. I'm going to drag that down a little bit. And again, the beauty of water paint is that I can go back in and cover this up if I really hate it. I don't hate it yet, but I also am a serial mind changer. So, you know, prepare yourself for me making a lot of edits.
That's okay.
If I don't have anything specific to do, or it's not for something specific, I end up experimenting.
What's the process that you prefer? Do you prefer having kind of like a very strict outline and like a know of what, hey, this is what we've got you to do? Or do you prefer kind of like this, where it's like, hey, I got a general idea, let's just see what happens?
It really depends. If I need to get something done in a time period, or if it is something specific, like I have a task to do, like I need this specific wound done for this specific shot of a film, then I need a plan, because if I don't, I'm like, otherwise, I am quite happy and content to experiment and not have a plan. I like winging it, as it were.
Yeah.
Because what more fun can you have than experimenting with painting on somebody, you know? Perfect. All right. So, you now have little eyes.
Okay, excellent. I feel the power already.
You feel the power. I'm going to... Oh, God. Actually, before I do anything else, I'm going to give you some sparkles. I'm going to put sparkles in your eyes.
I approve. Legendary.
Legendary. I'm going to get some of the cramp out of it. But these are like thicky, chunky sparkles.
Okay, yeah.
So they're really going to show up. I'm just going to make sure I'm not like dropping them everywhere. Hang on, here. I'm gonna make sure. I've gotten some, like, some of this in there, so they're not quite as white as they should be. That's better. There we go.
Just had to dig for gold there.
Just had to dig for the legendary sparkles, you know? And I'm just loading this brush up because not all of them will stick, obviously. Sparkles. Wow. Amazing. All right. I'm now going to line the eyes. I'm not sure if I want to do this. I'm going to do this, actually. I'm going to do this with eyeshadow first, and thicken the line before I really commit to that really dark line of the eyeliner.
I'm very excited to see what it looks like in after the fact.
Okay.
I'm appreciating that everybody else has seen the process and seen it built together, but I really love the surprise.
Amazing. Well, thanks for being such a willing canvas.
Yep, makes sense. I mean, you're going to do some face painting. We're going to have to,
Tilt your head down for me.
Yep. You're going to have to make sure that there's the most amount of space to work with.
Are you calling yourself a big head?
That and beardless.
Oh, and beardless. Yes.
Perry has a bit more hair than I do.
Glorious beard.
Have you ever had to work with like folks with beards? Like, how does that impact?
So
He beat me to it.
yeah, I need you to stop smiling. It really does impact the work. It really is dependent on what somebody wants done. I have not worked with a ton of facial hair before. I have designed for facial hair, and that was a scar makeup that I did. In which case, if somebody has a scar through their hairline on their face, you have to shave that scar line. So they just have essentially a fake scar in there. It's hard working with facial hair unless you're recoloring it, which is super simple, or taking it on or off. It's tough to work around, which is why, you don't see a ton of like dragon scale makeup done on a beard. Alrighty. It's looking fairly eye-like, I would say. Again, a little spidery. I'm going to now line the under eye with gold.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go kind of around the corners here. Really thinly, kind of sketchily give you some gold on the eyes. Just to tie it back to the eyebrows that you have going on.
That's actually a good point there, about like color theory and just like, yeah, like, can you speak to that at all? Like knowing your colors and palettes and what goes together and potentially using that at times to like deliberately put things that don't go together and like, yeah.
I can. I am a big fan of the thirds theory. So you choose 3 colors and you choose basic, or I guess the quarters theory. You choose one color to be 3/4, one color to be a quarter, and one color to be strictly detailing. That's really good for simple stuff. Obviously, makeup is tough for that because you need to have highlights and shadows and you need to have more colors than just 3. What I did for this makeup, I was like, okay, what colors bring to mind angelic figures or like purity even? And I was like, blue, gold, white.
Bright and airy,
Yeah,
and all
bright,
that.
airy.
Yeah.
What color is a creature that flies through the air and blends in with the heavens, right? So that's kind of how I went with this one, but it really depends on the makeup you're doing. There's a makeup in there that I did with it was a pop art zombie with UV light makeup I actually did. And there was a lot of contrasting colors because it was supposed to be spooky. And it was, I think it's either further towards the back or further towards the front. I'm not sure how. One should know their own portfolio, but I do not. But yeah, in terms of that, it was one of those, let me throw a bunch of colors together and make one. I made essentially 2 palettes. One that would glow in the dark and glow in UV light, and one that was normal, essentially. Fun.
I could tell that was more of a pivoting face.
I'm just trying to decide whether I want to. I do want to. I want to use white liner on these eyes.
Okay.
I'm just going to go in the under, kind of where I put the gold. And give you a little bit of highlight. I love white eyeliner. Makes my life really easy. This is just going to add a little bit more highlight to those eyes again. Lovely. I'm going to do your underline now of your own eyes. So I'm going to need you to look up and try not to squirm.
Gotta blink. My eyes are incredibly dry right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a very involved process.
Yeah, it sure is. Here.
It's snack time.
Take a snack.
It's Clark and Perry on the case. Clark and Perry, do what it takes. Clark and Perry, investigate.
The activities and interests of local artists in the Windy City's finest throughout both Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Alberta. Available on TELUS, Optic TV, On Demand, VidFlex, YouTube, and more for limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.